Hello? Is your daddy home? A small voice whispered. Yes, but he's out in the garden. May I talk with him? The child whispered. No. So the boss asked, well, is your mommy home? Yeah, she's out in the garden too. The boss asked, can I speak with her? Again, the boy said, no. Hoping that there was somebody with whom he could leave a message, the boss asked, is anybody else there? Yes, whispered the child, a policeman. Wondering what a cop would be doing at his employee's house, the boss asked, well, can I speak with the policeman? No, he's busy, whispered the child. Busy doing what? Talking to daddy and mommy and the police dog man. Growing more worried as he heard a loud noise in the background, the boss asked, what was that noise? It's a helicopter, whispered the boy. What's going on over there? Demanded the boss, now truly worried. The search team just landed the helicopter. A search team? Said the boss. What are they searching for? Still whispering, the young voice replied, me. Take this moment to turn to your neighbor, wish them a Shana Tova, Happy New Year. You thought that was a sermon. Joke's on you. No, I'm just kidding. You gotta have a little levity, my friends. Now the sermon. There are moments in life when everything shifts. When you hold a new life, encounter a new beginning, and then you suddenly realize that the world has just been completely rewritten. Nothing is the same. Everything is possible, and the future stretches ahead, blossoming with potential that you could never have imagined hours before. Nearly 3 months ago, when I first walked into our sanctuary at Shari Torah, I felt something very similar. Not because I was becoming a parent, though that was about to happen again, but because I was witnessing a different kind of birth, the beginning of my own rabbinate in this sacred community, and the birth of new possibilities for our Jewish journey together. Today, as we celebrate Rosh Hashanah, we encountered one of our liturgy's most profound and powerful images. Hayom Harat Olam. The world is pregnant with possibility. These words embedded in our Rosh Hashanah prayers don't simply mark the anniversary of creation. They proclaim that right now, in this moment, opportunity and the future are knocking at the door. Today, we stand on the threshold of new beginnings. My beloved rabbinic mentor and friend, Rabbi Richard Camrus, shared the term with me that he made up, or at least he claims to have made up, many years ago. A possibilitarian. It's a noun, also maybe a verb, or even an adjective, I don't really know. There's a bunch of possibilities, really. A possibilitarian is someone who chooses to see and nurture potential even in the midst of uncertainty. You, me, we are possibilitarians. We are those people who choose to see and nurture potential even amidst uncertainty. Yeah, you. Maybe not yet, but together we'll work to try to make this universal for all of us. But what does it really mean to live as a possibilitarian? And how do we balance this hopeful stance with the realities of our life, the community, and our world? Our theme this year at Shari Torah is rooted and reaching, like a tree that draws strength from the deep roots while stretching towards the light. We honor what has always sustained us during those moments in which we grow towards what may never have been. Hayom Harat Olam offers us 3 distinct births, 3 ways that new life emerge in our world. Each one teaches us something different about being rooted and reaching, about living, and about sacred potential. First is Hakara, recognition of seeing what was always there. The first creation is the creation of recognition, Sometimes new life doesn't require inventing something out of nothing. It requires opening our eyes to see what was always there, as after all, seeing is believing. Our Torah offers a stunning example in the story of Hagar. Cast out into the wilderness with her son Ishmael, she watches the water run out and prepares for the worst. She places the boy under the bush, walks away because she cannot bear to watch him die. And in her despair, she is utterly blind to hope. But then, "Vayivkeach Elohim et eineha v'tera be'er mayim." God opened Hagar's eyes, and she saw the well of water in front of her. Notice what does not happen here. God doesn't just create a well. God doesn't make water appear from nothing. God simply opens Hagar's eyes to see what was already there. A source of life that existed all along, simply waiting to be recognized. This is the first type and kind of Hayom Harat Olam, creation that comes from recognition, from seeing clearly what we had missed before, allowing it to come into focus, or perhaps looking at the same thing that's always been there, but in a new way, through a new lens. When I first visited Sha'arei Torah during the interview process, I was nervous. New communities can feel reluctant about change. I mean, did Montgomery County really need a second Rabbi Helfand? My brother's a rabbi in Chevy Chase. But what I discovered here amazed me. I saw a congregation in a community that had weathered challenges with grace. I saw people who sometimes disagreed but never stopped caring about one another. I saw commitment to Jewish learning that runs generations deep, and warmth that welcomed not just my family, but the questions and the struggles that I bring along with me. These weren't new qualities that emerged just from the visits. They've always been here. Roots drawing up water that has long sustained Sha'arei Torah. My role is not to plant them. Lord knows I do not have a green thumb. Rather, simply to notice them and to wonder how we can help them grow even more fully. How many wells of possibility exist in our own lives that we simply haven't seen? How many strengths does our community possess that we take for granted? How many opportunities for connection, for growth, for meaning are sitting right in front of us, waiting for us to simply open our eyes? And who or what is going to help us find those wells? Think about how easy it is, in this moment of seemingly global division and polarization, to focus on what's broken in our world. And yet, what struck Rebecca and myself when we arrived at Sha'arei Torah was that you were already doing the opposite. You were checking on one another, making sure that nobody was alone. You were creating moments for engaging our community or showing up with meals. You were building networks of care long before we arrived. That spirit of compassion is what drew us here. It inspired us then, and now we get to be a part of it every day. It inspires us even more. And I also want to say this. I know that not everyone in the room has always felt that network of care as fully as they might hope. For some, Sha'arei Torah feels like home. It feels like a family. And for others, it perhaps feels like a place that you might just visit. And that's real. And it's also part of our sacred work. Not only to deepen the roots that already run strong, but also to widen the branches so that more and more of us feel held, seen, and supported. And here's the possibilitarian part. If those roots are already this strong, imagine the branches that we can grow together. Imagine where the same compassion can carry us in the year ahead. Deeper relationships, wider circles of care, a community where hope and healing are not exceptions, but they are the air that we breathe. The first stage of Hayom Harat Olam teaches us that being rooted means more than just clinging to tradition. It means developing eyes to see the profound gifts that are the roots that have always been provided. Sometimes our deepest task is not creating new, but to recognize together the holiness that has been waiting in our midst. The second is tshuva, returning or trying again after we fail. Recognition alone is not enough. The second stage is the concept of return, of tshuva, the courage to try again after failure, to hope even when we have been disappointed before. Consider the journey of Abraham to Mount Moriah. This was not his first encounter with God. He'd already received promises, followed commands, practiced trust, almost killed his kid. But the Akedah was different. It didn't just call on the untested faith of someone encountering God for the first time. It demanded that seasoned faith of someone who wrestled with doubt, who carried unanswered promises, and who chose to climb anyways. That is the faith of tshuva, not perfection, but the courage to return again and again, even after moments of disappointment. Tshuva, or return, does not actually just translate to repentance, but rather it also is an answer in returning. It's about the sacred act of turning back towards hope after disappointment, trying again with wisdom that is gained from failure. This community must be a place where we remember that everybody is imperfect, yet still worthy of dignity and return. Tshuva doesn't erase mistakes. It invites us into the hard, sometimes uncomfortable work of repair. Real community is built not on perfection, but on our willingness to walk with one another through imperfection towards healing and wholeness. How many dreams have we buried because our first attempt ended in failure? How many relationships have we let slip away being hurt? How many times have we returned to the Jewish life because it just didn't speak to us, and so we turned away? These are not abstract questions. They're the quiet realities that live in many of our hearts. And of all that takes place in the backdrop of our world that we inhabit together, wars that feel endless, democracy under strain, violence too close to home, me running on for too long, we carry these burdens with us when we walk through the doors. For some of us, this holy cafeteria sanctuary is the first place that we've let ourselves truly breathe. It is in this moment that tshuva, the courage to return, matters most. Because the truth is, we've tried before. We've hoped before. We've even prayed before. And sometimes I feel like nothing changes. And yet, here we are again. We've showed up. We climbed the mountain, like Abraham, carrying every unanswered prayer with us, every failed attempt, and yet we still came back. That is the sacred act of return. Now, I know that Rosh Hashanah isn't usually the season for confessions. Come back next week for that. But I'm going to make one anyways. I make mistakes. If you want proof, my wife is somewhere in the building. And my parents, for that matter. Early in my time as a rabbi back in Atlanta, I called a member to extend condolences on the loss of a loved one. As was the custom in the synagogue, I told them that we'd be sending out a community-wide condolence email. I gathered information from the obituary, included the names of the family members connected to the synagogue, and we sent it. Later, I learned that I had left out several of the children simply because they weren't members. I called the family to apologize, and I probably should have stopped there. But instead, without thinking, I explained that our policy was only to include synagogue members. Big mistake. The next 20 minutes on the phone were, let's just say, uncomfortable. In that moment, I had realized that I not only made an error, but I had compounded it by trying to defend it. Afterwards, I called my rabbinic mentor, that same aforementioned possibilitarian, Rabbi Cameras, to admit what I had done. And he gave me the simple but valuable lesson. You won't make that mistake again. And boy, was he right. We can't give up after the first disappointment. Don't walk away when the world feels unfixable. Return and keep returning with whatever strength we have left in the engine. Return to community, return to one another, perhaps even return to God. The second stage of Hayom Arat Olam teaches us that reaching towards new possibilities often requires the humility to acknowledge what didn't work before and the courage to try again anyway. Our roots give us the strength to weather failure. Our willingness to reach again gives us the chance to grow. And finally, the third stage, Yetzirah, creation, bringing forth what has never existed. Creation, or Yetzirah, bringing forth what has never existed, daring to imagine and work toward unprecedented possibility. Sarah, our matriarch, her laughter captures this perfectly. You see, when the angels tell Abraham and Sarah that she will bear a child, what does she do? She laughs. The laughter of impossibility. The laugh of somebody who has given up hope. The Torah tells us, Acharei bilti hayta li edena. After I have withered, shall I have pleasure? But then Isaac is born, and Sarah laughs again. Same circumstances, but completely different laughter. Tzchok asa li Elohim. God has made laughter for me. The laugh of impossibility has become the laugh of wonder. What seemed finished has become the beginning of something entirely new. This is where I want to share my deepest hopes for what we can create together at Shari Torah. I ask these questions not because I already know the answers. Quite the opposite. I ask these questions to explore what the possibilities look like, what it looks like to take a leap. The holidays are a time where questioning is considered a holy act, a moment when we stretch ourselves to see our greatest potential. How might we fill this sanctuary space, even this holy cafeteria, not just on the holidays, but throughout the year, with people hungry for authentic Jewish spiritual experiences? How might we study Torah in ways that bring ancient wisdom alive, where every session leaves us challenged and nourished? And how might we join hands with neighbors, Jewish and non, to live our values through justice, care for our world, and community building? This is only a short list of questions, and these questions are not only ours. Across the globe, people are daring to create, whether it's renewable energy in coal towns, dialogue circles between Israelis and Palestinians, coalitions that refuse to accept polarization as destiny. These acts don't erase chaos, but they carve out space for wonder within it, laughter where impossibilities seem possible. I think that's what it means to be a possibilitarian, to ask again and again, how might we? These aren't just nice ideas. They are possibilities that I believe God is calling us to create. But like Sarah's laughter, they will require us to move from laughter of impossibility to the laughter of wonder. They will require us to believe that our best days are not behind us, but simply ahead. The third stage of Hayom Arat Olam teaches us that reaching towards new possibilities isn't just wishful thinking. It's partnering with God and each other in the ongoing work of creation. Our roots give us the wisdom to build on strong foundations. Our reaching gives us the vision to build what has never existed before. So how do we live as possibilitarians? How do we embody the truth of Hayom Harat Olam, not just today, but throughout the year ahead? Number one, we cultivate our eyes to see. We practice the discipline of recognition, looking for the wells of possibility that exist around us and within us. We celebrate the gifts that are already present in our community instead of focusing on what we lack. Second, we embrace the courage of return, not because we are defined by past disappointments, because we believe in each other. Return means trusting that when I falter, you will help me up. When you fall, I will be there for you. It means we are each other's strengths. I got you. You've got me. And together we are a community where no one has to journey alone. And finally, we have to dare to create. We move beyond the comfortable boundaries of what we've always done, and we stretch towards what never imagined. We laugh Sarah's laugh of wonder, partnering with God and bringing forth new life. These three stages, recognition, return, and creation, form a cycle. Recognition roots us in what we already have here. Return reminds us of what we are held by with one another, resilient enough to stretch again. And creation allows us to reach, to branch into new possibilities that we could never have imagined before. This, my friends, is what it means to both be rooted and reaching. A community grounded in shared values and ancient practices, yet always stretching upwards and outward towards possibility. Think of the trees. Some sends roots deep into the earth for strength, while the great sequoias spread wide, holding on to one another in place. We need both kinds of that rootedness, depth and breadth, if we are going to grow tall and strong and endure. So as I stand here today as your new rabbi, this moment is indeed pregnant with possibility. Hayom Harat Olam, rooted in who we have been, reaching towards who we are called to become. Together may we grow as a community that stands as tall and as strong as the trees, resilient, expansive, and alive with hope. So my ask, directly to you, don't wait until next Rosh Hashanah to return. Come back again to pray, to learn, to connect. This synagogue and this community needs you. And I want you to know, I'm not just here to lead from the front. I want to sit with you, learn with you, even wrestle with the questions alongside you. So let's go for a walk. Let's get coffee. It's on me. I won't drink it, but it's on me. Let's gather around Shabbat tables, learn with one another. My hope is that together we can shape a community where showing up means not only being sustained, but sustaining one another. Imagine with me by this time next year that we'll look back and celebrate the return that we've made together. The prayers lifted, the friendships deepened, the learning shared, the acts of kindness multiplied. If you show up, there will be something here to sustain you. And together we will create a community that sustains us all. May this be a year of recognition, return, and creation. May we be a community that is deeply rooted and boldly reaching. And may we discover together that when we live as possibilitarians, Hayom Harat Olam becomes not just a prayer we recite, but a reality that we actualize. Shana Tova u'Metuka. May this be a good year of goodness and sweetness for all. Amen.